After an 8-year absence, Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro arrives in Brazil to meet with a now friendly president. The right-wing Jair Bolsonaro, who lost the vote to Luiz Inácio Lula de Silva last year, had banned Maduro from entering the country. But now socialist administrations have re-emerged across much of Latin America, and all leaders are invited to the Brazilian capital Tuesday to promote regional integration.
Brazil was quite isolated when Bolsonaro in Latin America. He was closer to Trump than he was to Latin America. But Lula is taking Brazil back to the role it always had in Latin America, well, it had for many years in Latin America. It's basically, in a nutshell, that's how I expect that would be. That will depend on whether other governments will agree with that.
2018 marked the beginning of a so-called pink tide across Latin America. Most of its leaders now identify as leftists, in addition to Maduro, who took over from Hugo Chavez in 2013, and Lula, the latest to be elected to lead the continent's largest country. Brazil is aiming to revive a version of UNASUR, the Union of South American Nations. It's been largely defunct since previous right-wing governments disagreed on Venezuela's inclusion. Under Maduro's presidency, Venezuela is under heavy U.S. sanctions. But there have been recent backdoor talks between Washington and Caracas on oil supplies in light of Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine.
Russia has a lot of influence in Latin America these days because they've developed a relationship with Latin American countries, something which was neglected by the European Union and the United States. So this BRIC is going to be a new attempt by Lula to reinforce his position as an independent body from the United States. And of course, he proposed a currency. Whether that's going to work or not is another matter, but he wants a new currency as well in Latin America, which will replace the dollar.
This summit may come to show the most united Latin American front seen in decades. Yasmine El-Sabawi, TRT World.